Can I ask members of the Audit, Governance and Standards Committee to take their seats, please? Thank you.
Good evening, members. Hello. Good evening. We're just about to start the Audit, Governance and Standards Committee meeting. So, good evening, members. Welcome to this meeting of the Audit, Governance and Standards Committee. I'm Debbie Snook, Democratic Services Officer, and I will take the committee through the first 3 items on the agenda. Before I do so, can I take the opportunity to advise you that if the fire alarm does sound, please remain seated and members of the Democratic Services team will assess the situation and give further instructions on the evacuation of the building if necessary. Tonight's proceedings will be webcast by the Council, but if anyone else is intending to record these proceedings, can you please let me know now? I ask this question not to stop you, but merely to ensure that members and any members of the public in the room know that this is taking place. Thank you. I'd also like to advise members that they should only address the meeting by way of their microphones and to remind them to turn their microphone off when they finish speaking. So moving on to the agenda, item 1 is apologies for absence. We've received apologies from Councillor Dawes. Are there any other apologies?
Apologies from Councillor Cooch. Maybe turn it off. Yes, Councillor Jeffries substituting for Councillor Cooch.
Councillor Gooch substituting for Councillor Harper. No, I'm not. No, I'm not actually. I was just testing. I'm substituting for Councillor Dawes. I beg your pardon.
Thank you. Right, item 3. Can I have nominations for the election of chairman, please?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Field.
Is that seconded? Are there any other nominations? Councillor Field, you're elected chairman. Would you like to come and sit here and invite nominations for vice chairman, please?
Thank you, members. Do we have any nominations for Vice Chair, please? Councillor Jeffrey.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Greenan.
Do we have a seconder?
I'd like to second it.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Fine, then congratulations, Councillor Greenan, on your election as Vice Chair. Thank you, members. No further business. The meeting's closed.
So, members, democracy and general purposes is next.
Good evening, members. I'm Cassie Beckley, Democratic Services Officer, and I will take the committee through the first 3 agenda items for election of Chair and Vice Chair for Democracy and General Purposes Committee. This meeting, for those of you who have arrived since the beginning, is being broadcast live and recorded for playback on the Council's YouTube channel, and if anyone intends to record the proceedings, please state this now so all attendees are aware, not to stop you doing it. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and the Democratic Services team will advise accordingly. Item 1 is apologies. Are there any apologies? Yes.
It's from Councillor Tom Sams and Stephen Thompson.
Thank you. And are there any, item 2, are there any substitutes?
Alison Sweetman for Stephen Thompson.
Thank you. Are there any others?
It is now.
And Janessa Sams for Councillor Tom Sams.
Thank you. Item 3, election of a chairman. Can I have any nominations for election of a chairman?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Clive English for Chair.
And is that seconded? Are there any other nominations? Okay, in that case, Councillor English is elected as Chair for Democracy and General Purposes. If you'd like to come up and do the election of Vice Chair, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Do I have nominations for Vice Chairman of the committee? Councillor Sams?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councillor Jeffrey.
Is that seconded? Thank you. Any other nominations? In that case, I declare Councillor Jeffrey duly elected. Congratulations, and I close the meeting.
Members, could you take your seats, please, for the Employment Committee? Thank you. Good evening, members. Welcome to this meeting of the Employment Committee. I'm Debbie Snook, Democratic Services Officer, and I'm going to take you through the first 3 items on the agenda. Again, can I just remind you that if the fire alarm does sound, please remain seated, and members of the team will assess the situation and give further instructions on the evacuation of the building if necessary. Again, tonight's proceedings will be webcast by the Council, but if anyone else is intending to record these proceedings, can you please let me know now? I'm asking so that members and any members of the public who might be here know that this is taking place. Moving on to the agenda, the first item is apologies for absence. Are there any apologies for absence?
Yes, from Councillor Kathy Cox and Councillor Vanessa Jones.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, there's loads, sorry.
That's right. Apologies from Councillor Partip-Freed as well.
And apologies from Councillor Harper.
Thank you. Are there any substitute members?
Councillor Jeffrey for Councillor Kathy Cox.
Councillor Sweetman for Councillor Jones.
Councillor Forecast for Councillor Partip-Freed.
Thank you. Councillor Gooch for Councillor Harper.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3. Could I have nominations for the election of chairman, please?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Janetta Sams for chairman.
Sorry, are there any other nominations? Councillor Sams, you're chairman. Would you like to come forward and invite nominations for the election of vice chairman? Thank you.
Thank you. I have nominations for Vice Chair.
I would like to nominate Councillor Wales.
Thank you. So congratulations, Councillor Wales, you are Vice Chair. And I'll close the meeting. Thank you.
So members, licensing committee will be next.
Good evening, members. I'm Jordan Ifield, Democratic Services Officer, and I'll take the committee through the first 3 agenda items. This meeting, again, is being broadcast live and recorded for playback on the Council's YouTube channel, and if anyone intends to record the proceedings, please state this now so we are all aware. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and we will advise accordingly as well. Item 1, apologies. Have we got any apologies, Councillor Jeffrey?
Apologies from Councillor Vanessa Jones.
Thank you. Councillor English?
Apologies from Councillor David Nagy.
Thank you. Councillor Cleater?
Apologies from Councillor Coates.
That's right, thank you.
Apologies from Councillor Jenkins Baldock.
Thank you very much. And item 2, substitute members. Are there any substitute members in attendance? Councillor Jeffrey?
Councillor Jeffrey for Councillor Jones.
Councillor Hickson for Councillor Dave Nagy.
Councillor Cleater?
Councillor Cleater for Councillor Jenkins Baldock. Baldock Jenkins. I'll get it right in a minute.
And I'm Councillor Gooch for Councillor Coates, I think.
Thank you. That's right. So election 3, no, item 3, sorry, election of a chairman. Can I have a nomination for election of a chairman, please? Oh, Councillor English, just first, quickly.
I will nominate Councillor Mackay.
Councillor Mackay, and is that seconded? Councillor Cleater, thank you very much. Do we have any other nomination for chairman? No. So I elect Councillor Mackay. So I'm going through one ear out the other to come and sit here as chairman, please.
Thank you very much, members. So nice to be called Mackay rather than Mackay. May we have nominations for Vice Chair of Licensing?
I would like to nominate Councillor David Nagy.
Do we have a seconder? Do we have any alternative? David Nagy is appointed Vice Chair. And this meeting is at a close. Thank you very much.
Members, it will be overview and scrutiny next. Thank you.
Good evening, members. I'm Cassie Beckley, Democratic Services Officer. I'm going to be taking you through the first 3 agenda items for Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Just to remind you, the meeting is being broadcast live and recorded for playback on the Council's YouTube channel. If anyone intends to record the proceedings, please can you state so that we are aware, not to stop you doing it. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and we will advise accordingly. So moving on to item number 1, are there any apologies? Yes.
Is from Councillor Kieran Oliver. Apologies from, can I give some more? Is that okay? Yep. Yes. Apologies from Councillor Rodwell, and apologies from, who's standing in for? Is he just started?
Keeley. Councillor Thorpe.
Sorry.
Sorry, Councillor Sweetman standing in for Councillor Keeley.
Just apologies.
Oh, sorry.
Apologies from Councillor Harper.
For Councillor Parfitt-Reid.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Apologies for Councillor Parfitt-Reid.
Thank you. And are there any item 2, are there any substitutes, please?
Councillor Forecast for Councillor Parfitt-Reid.
Councillor Gooch for Councillor Harper.
Thank you.
So, Councillor Millam for Councillor Rodwell.
Thank you. And thank you. And
Councillor Sweetman for Councillor Cayley.
thank you. Is that everyone? Okay, on to item 3 for election of chairman. In accordance with the Council's Constitution, Rule 3.3, Part C2, nominations will first only be open to members belonging to the largest non-administration group, which is the Conservative group. If only one person from the group is nominated, that member will be declared elected as chairman. Are there any nominations for committee members belonging to the Conservative group?
Am I on? Oh, I'm on. I thought it went correct. Anyway, yes, I'd like to propose Councillor Claudine Russell, please, for chairman. Thank you.
Is that seconded? Are there any other nominations? Okay, congratulations, you are elected as chairman, and if you'd like to take a seat and elect vice chairman, please.
Thank you. Item 4, election of vice chairman. Can I have nominations for vice chairman, please? Councillor Cannon.
Councillor Gary Cook.
Is that seconded? Councillor Forecast. Can I have got any other nominations for vice chair, please?
Yep. Councillor Field.
Councillor Field. Is that seconded? Seconded. Who goes? What do I do first? All of those votes for Councillor Cook, please. Thank you. Votes against? No? Sorry. And all the votes for Councillor Field, please. Councillor Field is duly elected vice chairman, and I close the meeting. Thank you.
Members, Planning Committee will be next.
Good evening, members. Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Planning Committee. I'm Debbie Snook, Democratic Services Officer, and I'm going to take the committee through the first three items on the agenda. Again, can I take the opportunity to advise you that if the fire alarm does sound, please remain seated, and members of the team will assess the situation and give further instructions on the evacuation of the building if necessary. Tonight's proceedings will be webcast by the Council, but if anyone else is intending to record these proceedings, can you please let me know now? This is just to let people know that this will be taking place. Item 1 on the agenda is apologies for absence. Are there any apologies for absence, please?
Apologies from Councillor Kathy Cox, Mike Summerskill and Stephen Thompson.
Thank you. Are there any substitute members?
Councillor Sweetman for Councillor Summerskills.
And Councillor Sams for Councillor Kathy Cox.
Councillor Millen for Councillor Stephen Thompson.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is election of chairman. Could I have your nominations, please? Thank you.
And I'd like to nominate Paul Wilby.
Is that seconded? Are there any other nominations? Councillor Wilby. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, councillors. Do we have any nominations for vice chairman?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Mike Summerskill.
Do we have a seconder? Yes. Any other nominations? Okay, Mike is elected then. And that's the committee closed. I'll see you on Thursday.
Members, next will be the Climate Transition, Corporate and Environmental Services Policy Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Good evening, members. Hello again. Good evening. I'm Jordan Ifield, Democratic Service Officer, and I'll take the committee again through the first three agenda items. This meeting again is being broadcast live and recorded for playback on the Council's YouTube channel, and if anyone intends to record the proceedings, please tell me now. Nope. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and we will help you accordingly. Item 1, apologies. Have we got any apologies? Councillor Jeffrey?
Apologies from Councillor Cooch and Councillor Summersgill.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Cleater?
Councillor Jenkins-Bolder.
Thank you. And agenda item 2, substitute members. Are there any substitute members? Councillor Jeffrey?
Councillor Jeffrey for Councillor Cooch.
Councillor Sams for Councillor Summersgill.
Councillor Cleater for Councillor Jenkins-Bolder.
Thank you, members. So move on to agenda item 3, election of chairman. Can I have a nomination for the election of a chairman, please?
Hi, I'd like to nominate Councillor Hickson.
Thank you. And is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Jeffrey. And have we got any other nominations? No. Well, I hereby elect Councillor Hickson to the chair.
Good evening, members. So, in accordance with the Council's Constitution, Rule 3.2, Part C2, nominations will first only be open to members belonging to non-administration groups, which includes the Conservative Group, Labour Group, and the Independent and Fant Oakwood Independence Group. Can I invite nominations for Vice Chair, please? Okay, so there's no nominations, so I can open it up more widely to the administration.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Gooch. Sorry. Councillor Cooch. It is very similar.
Is that seconded? Okay, congratulations, Councillor Cooch. I'd like to close the meeting.
Members, the next election is for Housing and Community Cohesion Policy Advisory Committee. Good evening, members. I'm Cassie, Democratic Services Officer. I'll be taking the committee through the first 3 agenda items for the Housing and Community Cohesion Policy Advisory Committee election of Chairman and Vice Chairman. This meeting is being broadcast live and recorded for playback. Anyone else who is recording the proceedings, please can you state this now, not to stop you doing it, but just so that everybody else is aware. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and we will advise accordingly. Okay, moving on to item 1. Are there any apologies, please? Councillor Jeffrey.
Apologies from Councillor Oliver and Councillor Rodwell.
Apologies from Councillor Dawes.
And Councillor Russell.
Apologies for Councillor Parfitt-Reid.
And Councillor Hickson.
Apologies from Councillor Khadka.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2. Are there any substitutes, please? Councillor Gooch.
Go on. Councillor Gooch for Councillor Dawes. Thank you.
Councillor Russell.
Councillor Russell for Councillor Parfitt-Reid.
Councillor Hickson.
Councillor Hickson for Councillor Khadka.
Councillor Sams.
Councillor Sams for Councillor Rodwell.
And Councillor Jeffrey.
Councillor Jeffrey for Councillor Oliver.
Thank you. And moving on to item 3, election of a chairman. Can I have any nominations for election of chairman, please? Councillor Jeffrey.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Maureen Cleater for chairman.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Oh, sorry, is that seconded? Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay, that means Councillor Cleater is elected as chairman, and if you'd like to come up and take the nominations for vice chairman, please.
In accordance with the Council's Constitution, Rule 3.2, Part C2, nominations will firstly only be open to members belonging to non-administration groups, which includes the Conservative Group, Labour Group and the Independent and Fanton Oakwood Independent groups. Do I have nomination for Vice Chair from those groups? Yeah. I'll then open it up now to the administration as well. Any nominations for Vice Chair?
Yep, I'd like to propose Councillor Khadka for Vice Chair.
Is that seconded? There are no other nominations. I declare that Councillor Khadka is elected as Vice Chair, and I now close the meeting. Thank you for your attendance.
The last one will be Planning and Healthier Stronger Communities Cohesion Policy Advisory Committee. Good evening, members. I'm Cassie from the Democratic Services team, and I will be taking you through the first three agenda items for Planning and Healthier Stronger Communities Policy Advisory Committee. The meeting is being broadcast live and recorded for playback on the Council's YouTube channel. If anyone intends to record the proceedings, please state this now so that all attendees are aware. In the event of a fire alarm, please remain seated and I will advise accordingly. Moving on to item 1, are there any apologies? Councillor Jeffrey.
Apologies from Councillor Kahili.
Apologies from Councillor Harper.
Are there any other apologies? Okay, moving on to item 2, are there any substitutes, please? Councillor Gooch.
Councillor Gooch for Councillor Harper, thank you.
And Councillor Jeffrey.
Councillor Jeffrey for Councillor Kahili.
Thank you. And moving on to item 3, election of a chairman. Can I have any nominations for election of a chairman? Councillor Green.
I would like to nominate Councillor Barwick.
Is that seconded? Are there any other nominations? So that would be Councillor Barwick is elected as chairman. Would you like to come up and take the nominations for vice chairman?
Thank you, councillors. I'm extremely dyslexic, so if I get this wrong, I don't apologise. It's just like might get it wrong. No, I'm sorry. In accordance with the council's constitution, Rule 3.2, Part C2, nominations will firstly only be open to members belonging to the non-administration groups, which include the Conservative Group, Labour Group, and the Independents and Fant Oakwood Independent Group. Do I have any nominations from those groups for Vice Chair? No, thank you. So is there any other nominations for Vice Chair? Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to nominate Councillor Richard Conyard.
Is there a seconder? Thank you. So hereby duly elected Councillor Conyard, sorry, as Vice Chair. Thank you. And I'll close the meeting. Thank you.